mahalo everybody for coming and really supporting me, and thank you so much for showing up. I am obviously a Kamaile and somebody who is reaching out to share with you from my heart. I've asked a couple of different friends to also share the same. So one of the reasons why I'm actually calling this meeting and to really hui up is obviously, for the last 2 years now, I have been involved in a company that brings me back to my roots of health and wellness. And it truly has brought out the best of me. It has given me an opportunity to dive in deep into more study into what is to be our future and what is our future of health and the way that we approach health. And so I really wanted to share this with people because if the message isn't necessarily the timing that is perfect in your life to adapt to and something that you want to take into your regimen in particular, I ask you to have an open heart to really listen in to some of the amazing stories that I'm about to share with you so that you can take that away and perhaps share that with others and say, hey, Kamaile, really, you should really talk to my good friend Kamaile or my cousin Kamaile. She really has some information that could help you along your journey in regards to what we're really striving for, guys, more than anything is preventative health. And we have some really amazing products and technology that we're going to get into and share with you. I'm going to share my screen for just a little bit, but beyond that, one of the premise about having this talk story was really about not only what we've gone through in regards to the epidemic, and how it's affected in all of us to take a deeper look at our health, to really understand what we're doing, how we can prevent it more, what are some of the steps that we can do to help to keep ourselves healthy, happy, protected. So many different things have been coming up for us, and energetically, we've been dealing with all of that. But it's also evident to me and so many others that we have been dealing with a pandemic in regards to our wealth. So when I say that, I mention that because I have so many friends that have lost their jobs. I have so many friends that have dug into their savings and they don't know what they do. I have so many friends that are just waiting for that stimulus check, that next stimulus check to really get them over the hump. And we were already, I feel like, especially here in Hawaii, but I don't feel like that is coined as anything special anymore. It's really anywhere in the country, we are truly looking at almost, I want to say like 80 to 90% of people have some sort of side hustle, whether or not that is I laugh, making little clips to hold on your mask, or whether it's, making jewelry on the side, or it is, doing a side business, that this could start as, and I'm sharing from my heart as a possibility, but I want to share that we are coming with solutions that really present in both worlds, and it's a really beautiful um, uh, a really beautiful thing. So somebody's just texting me to get the password. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. Um, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick, and then I'm going to ask a few friends to share. So what we have our hands on, you guys, is pretty amazing. It's a new technology and science and health, and truly, it's the forefront of our future and the way that we're doing health, and that's through an accessing our cellular structure through what we call activation. So we're normally, programmed to see and to actually fill our cup when we're not, eating the right things, or we're not, we're stressed out too much, or with supplements, or obviously with nutrition as our first and foremost defense that I always go to, definitely in regards to taking care of your gut health. But when we can actually accelerate that whole process of healing through what is called activation. And this has been kind of on the scene for the last since about 2015, 20, sorry, 2005 is when it came out. So about approximately 11, 12 years. It's absolutely been amazing. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick, and I'll share you just a little highlight. I do a little overview that you can get a lot more information in regards to what we're going to be talking about. But this, as a Hawaiian health practitioner, when I went to go and listen to this, I was depleted. I was financially depleted. I was, stressed because, I didn't have any finances behind me. My relationship was failing. I definitely, was feeding all of the good food to my baby. And so I was emotionally, mentally, physically just like looking for something to help me out. And because I was in Hawaiian health and in nutrition, I knew and I understood what I wanted to go for. But when I was approached by my girlfriends to come and listen to this, I literally had my arms crossed. I was like, okay, no, thank you. But you know what? I'll go for the glass of wine and the camaraderie and come and listen anyway. Like, I just wanted to support them like you guys are doing right now. But when I heard about the scientific background and what is supporting what they were claiming or what they were saying, I was floored. So this is just something that I always say is let's definitely build wellness rather than disease. It's certainly a lot cheaper. And what we're talking about is actually activation. And in particular, we're talking about really taking our cells from this healthy apple. And, this is our normal God-given state is it's acting, as it should be, it's functioning as it should be. The minute that oxidation or these free radicals of unpaired or mispaired molecules of oxygen start to hit the cell wall that's typically called free radicals. What we don't want to happen is this, demise of the cell right here, because that leads to a lot more illness and dis-ease. And so what we've really been taught to do is consume in dietary means, in particular, foods that are rich in amino acids, antioxidants, cruciferous foods, so sulfur-rich foods. But what we have known and what research have shown us is that we truly cannot eat enough antioxidants to combat the 300 sextillion amount of free radicals that are combating our cells every single day and actually breaking them down, like we saw in that picture of the apple. So this is what caught my eye, you guys, is truly an understanding of how to put 5 simple herbs together synergistically blended so that they can actually all come together. And instead of moving the needle like 3%, 5%, some like green tea actually moves the needle in regards to accessing that NRF2 pathway, less than 1%. When all of these come together, they all together, that synergistic blend helps to increase our ability to access that pathway and tell our bodies to flip on the switch within our cells and make antioxidants at millions per second per cell. So we are able to actually have a tool to combat what is known as oxidative stress. And so I'm just doing a real overview, but what also caught my attention, you guys, is that the American Heart Association did their own research after, amongst all these other institutions, did their own research after Dr. McCord and his doctors actually came out with this in about 2005, like I'd mentioned. So there's so much study, there's so much research behind it, but I don't want to bore you with that because I have some really amazing evidence on the other hand of how this has truly affected our people that have taken it. So I'm going to go ahead, and it looks like Denby, that you are in your office, my love. And so I'm going to get you out of the door quickly. And I just want to say, let me unmute you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to really be here and to support me, sister. I truly, truly appreciate it. I have been in awe of you because of all that you care for, all that you malama for, not only your lahui in your community, your family responsibilities are huge, but then also that of the story of your daughter that truly had me weeping, when I heard that testimony of how that went. So, and it's been a while since I've actually heard it. So, if you don't mind sharing from your heart kind of some of the background from of how and why you actually said yes to diving down this rabbit hole with us and saying yes to Life Vantage, that would be amazing.
Thank you
Yeah.
for the introduction. Um, we, as a family, I think we decided it. We tried it out and we were the same. We were like, okay, we're gonna just support our friends. Our actually it was our more family members, and when we've started taking it, we were like, is this really happening? How what? And so slowly we started getting convinced. And so then I gave it to the next kid, and then I gave it to my mom, and um it was actually just too. We sat down and we're like, should we give Kahile this? And Kaile, in short, she's my 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old daughter. She was stillborn, and so she had hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. Basically, I mean she's lost a big portion of her brain, and she's unable to move or talk or walk. So it was really hard for us um, as a family to accept. Lots of depression. Um, there was quite a bit of defeat every day waking up, um, especially for my kids who were then, I believe, in 10th grade and like 7th grade. Um, but in short, they through using Protandem and everything that we take now, it's been such a game changer, especially for my daughter. She wasn't able to handle her feeds, so she. Sorry, I'm just talking. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I'm trying
Yeah.
not to talk too loud.
No, 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 you're good.
Um, yeah, she wasn't able to eat. She was born 9'3", and still she's still under 30 pounds. But through using the products, she's able to swallow a lot better. She's able to sleep. She never slept for almost the whole first 3 years of her life. She never took naps in the day. Um, she smiles, she interacts more. So it's really, really hard to watch my child have to suffer, and there was really nothing I could do. Moreover, my other kids just holding her, I couldn't get out of bed every day. My back always hurt. Um, it was like defeat from the moment everybody woke up, and nobody wanted to take care of her. That's kind of what it came down to. It's like, why is God? What did we do so wrong? But after taking Protandim, the way that everybody felt about her and the way that they were willing to wake up to the day and really um, just embrace who she was as a person and her challenges, it changed everyone. It changed our lives tremendously. Um, I'm trying to not make it all weepy and sad, but it is. It's pretty touching how dramatic the change was for us and how I can go to work. I wasn't going to work anymore. I was going to give up on working and just be a stay-at-home mom. And I would watch all these CP videos about cerebral palsy and, what other moms do and just kind of stay that same track. But now I work more than ever, and she goes to school. Um, and she's responding, which is really the big one. And she's responding. So we recently added Nerf 1. We started off with Nerf 2, and just a portion of it, and then slowly started growing into that more. And the greatest part is she smiles all the time. She's like such a happy baby. Um, her teachers love her because she's actually able to, she understands what you're saying, she sees what you're doing, but she can't express herself. So the smiling and the interaction, what little she does do, the more that you sit with her, the more that you start to understand that she really does understand. And I think we've never had hope for her before, which is the hardest part, is that you're just waiting for her to, you know, not make it. But now she's making it, and um, it's she's growing where she didn't grow before. Um, and I feel like she can withstand pain longer. So she goes into the hospital pretty often. Um, but when the doctors check her, like she can't breathe. It's not to us. We think, oh, she's not breathing. But doctors take X-rays. She's never got COVID. Okay. It's crazy. She's been everywhere. She's never got COVID. She's been to Oregon. She's traveled so many times. And with as weak as her immunity is, she's not weak at all. Every blood test that she takes, I always ask for the results, to see how far it's really gone. And her blood tests are amazing. It's like, what's really wrong with her, they don't know. Besides her brain, they can't tell. So the flu, she's never gotten the flu. And I mean, she gets cold, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. I could go on
And
and on and on. Yeah,
I
go for it.
know, but I remember you saying too, yeah, it's such a huge blessing, that she also just even the fact that she was able to move her bowels
Oh
and
yeah,
that was huge, right?
bowel movements.
Yeah.
So she's on seizure meds. She has to, in order to, she takes medicine to eat, to poop, to sleep, like just everything. And so we were able to actually reduce that because she poops regularly now, every day, sometimes more than we want. But yeah, she has a very healthy system. Her doo-doo is always soft, like watery, right? We couldn't find that natural balance that you feel every day when her doo is hard now. It's like, yeah, good. That's a good point. I forgot about that. That's the thing. I forgot where we were uh last July, you know. It's just become so normal now. She goes to sleep at a regular time. She wakes up for school regular. She's almost regular other than, her few setbacks, but that's how good the product is, I promise. We just forget. We forget who we were before this. So,
Oh, well, thank you
yeah.
so much for sharing and
Yeah,
your whole ohana, my love. I
I
absolutely
will.
thank you
Thank
so
you
much
guys so
for, yeah.
much.
And if you got to run, I totally understand. So I know
Okay.
you've got family responsibilities. So, but I love
God bless.
you.
Love
I
you
love
too,
your whole
Kamaile.
ohana. Yes.
Aloha.
Yay. Aloha. Well, Miss Sarah I'm going to ask you to speak next and just share again your story in regards to not only just kind of your path with this company, with this product, your pain, and just really what it's done.
If I could compose myself, that was that was really great to hear. I've heard her story once before, and it always brings me to tears. But you know, going back in my past and what happened with me is that I lived with a lot of chronic neck and back pain from when I was about 14 years old. And what happened, I got into about 4 car accidents in the span of 1.5 years. And so at the time, of course, I didn't want to do anything about it. I wanted to just live my life. I was young, and I knew I was in pain, but I just put it on the back burner. And as I got older, it got worse. And through going through seeing so many different doctors, I got MRIs done. I did physical therapy, chiropractor, massage therapy, anything, you name it, I did it. And everything came back normal. My blood work came back normal. My MRIs came back normal. So the doctors kind of looked at me and said, you're young, nothing's wrong with you. And we're not sure, but here's a bunch of pharmaceuticals and pills that you can take to alleviate your pain. And of course, I am thinking, okay, whatever helps me not feel this way, I'm more than willing to take it. And, I didn't grow up with holistic healing. I didn't grow up eating healthy. I didn't have that background with my family. It's in Hawaii here, we have plate lunches and zippies and all these different, delicious foods, but they're not healthy for you. So I think that growing up in that sort of sense, I was like, yeah, give me the pills, I'll take it. And through having children, I have 4 now, but it exacerbated the pain. And I used to work as a visual merchandising director. So I was up on my feet constantly creating these displays, traveling around to the different stores. And it was a lot of heavy work. And so I, looked at my husband one night and he looked at me and he said, I think that you need to quit your job. And at the time we had 3 kids. And I said, how are we supposed to do that? I don't understand how we're going to live off of one income in Hawaii and survive. He said, we'll just build up my business. We'll work on my business. And we have our landscaping business as well. So I took on the back work. I took on the accounting, the invoicing, payroll, all that we have to do when you have a small business. And it's no fun. If any of you have small businesses, you know what that takes. So I just, it was weird. And then a friend came along, Tara, who's on this call as well, and she invited me to hear this information. And immediately I thought, okay, what are we talking about here? Is this network marketing? My red flags went up. And I'm just, I was open, but at the same time, I was very hesitant and skeptical. And she said, no, just come and listen to the information. And I said, okay, fine, I'll come. We're standing outside of her door. And I thought, okay, what are we walking into here? I'm a little nervous about this. And we heard 45 minutes. And immediately after that, we thought, why not try it? It's all natural. It's an all natural product. We don't take anything at this time. So we need to start taking care of ourselves. And we want to, we do want to be preventative and proactive rather than something happen down the line and be reactive and be like, oh, I just wish I took those vitamins or those minerals or that drink, So it was a light bulb moment for me. And she ended up giving me the Axio, which is a smart energy drink for our brain. And I didn't want to take that either because I don't like energy drinks. And that was, something that I really, really made me feel jittery and made me feel like I couldn't take control of anything going on. But that Axio drink, wow, like it drastically changed my mental clarity. I could think. I had a 5-month-old at the time. I was taking 30-minute naps every day. So for me, after I drank that, I went, okay, tell me about this business. I want to know more. I dove headfirst into the business, bought the biggest pack because I know that I wanted to try everything. My husband wanted to try everything. We wanted our kids to even try it. So we did that. And I went headfirst. And what was surprising and highly unexpected was that after 3 weeks, my pain subsided. That hasn't happened since I was 14. So for me, that was a drastic change. And I was very surprised because nothing in my life that I have ever done has helped with that pain, that chronic pain. And so after that, I was a believer. And I just wanted to, you want to share this because I get it. We're all busy. We got lots of things going on. I have 4 kids. Whoa, I do not have 5 kids. Is that so foretelling? I have 4 kids. I think the 5th kid is our other business. But, there's a lot of things going on with distance learning and everything else. But I always, I look at Denby. I look at, other people who are doing a lot more than I am and have a lot more on their plate, or even dealing with, I had a friend deal with a recent tragedy, and knowing that, these products help us feel better and just have more energy. I think that it really, really helps. And the fact that we do have the science, we have the peer-reviewed studies, we have the patents, and we're publicly traded. That was huge for me too. And I think that if I can create this sort of legacy where health and happiness is at the forefront for my children, then I'm all in. I always say that I didn't have the opportunity when I was little to learn about these things. So it's really refreshing to share with my kids, like, this is NRF2. Like, they could probably do the presentation for all of you because they know I include them and I want them to grow up having this, this basis, this information so that they can pass it to their children. And that's why I'm so passionate about this business. But thanks for letting me share, Kamaile.
Yay, I so appreciate that. And thank you. And I'm sorry I didn't edify you sooner. I just definitely want to make sure that we're in accordance with time, but I really appreciate your story and I really appreciate the effort that you put in, especially with having 4 kids, but it's so funny as mamas and dads as well, like what we will put ourselves through and go through, and just say, oh, I got to muscle up, I got to do this, I got to just bear with it. But when we can get at the root of the problem, which is basically that inflammation that's going on within our body, and truly give our bodies the tools to do what it's naturally supposed to do to heal itself, and to accelerate that whole process. It's amazing. I know I'm preaching to a doctor over here, my cousin. I love you. All right, well, let's go to our last speaker. I was going to have Jamie come on to actually have him and his wife speak, but Susan is left Jamie to cook the dinner and do the show. But Jamie is somebody who has been a dear friend of our family for a really long time. It was Susan, she and I were Lomi sisters together, and we really bonded. And when I had brought this information to Susan, I knew I could geek out with her, and we talked shit all the time, and literally we're talking poop about our bowels, and we love it. So so when we started having this conversation, she was like, all right, let me bring it to my husband, we'll see, I'll take it, but I don't want to do anything of the business. But it wasn't until Jamie really kind of like wrapped his head around it that his story is so powerful to me in so many ways, that I asked him to please share from his heart, as you always do, because it's such a huge part of why I keep doing what I'm doing and sharing, is because you're standing there with me, brother. So I'll let you have the show.
Well, Kamaile, thank you so much for having me. I mean, I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for you. Bringing Susan and showing Susan the product. And then, I've been married for over 21 years, and we just find a way to figure it out. And I'm finally get to talk without her being around. And so I get to say whatever I want to say to you guys tonight. So first, I'm the only male on this call, so I can just say whatever I want to say. But Kamaile, thank you so much. And I just want to just tell a really quick story. I know we're running up on time, and just a little story about my background and kind of how I came to decide, or we came to decide, that this opportunity was for us. And before I started talking about it, I mean, just know I understand the business opportunity. It isn't for everyone. Not everyone has a desire for it, or the need for it, or even the want for it, and that's okay. But there's no doubt, you heard tonight Debbie's story. Whoa, so powerful. Sarah, I was extremely skeptical too when I first saw this as an opportunity, but there's no doubt that the products are for everyone. And it's a critical time to offer a solution when everyone's looking for the solution to boost their immune system, activate their cells. This is a perfect time to take a real close look at the opportunity. And it doesn't matter what kind of background you have. And we all have different experiences. I was 24 years in the military. What do I know about businesses? It doesn't care if you have a GHD. GHD. If you have a PhD or a GED, right? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you have a desire to make yourself feel better, to help others around you, a desire for more time, more days of healthy living, and this is just gives you an opportunity to serve others in your community. But my story, really quick, 10 years ago, I'm a military guy, special forces. I was working in Indonesia. I was in 6 months of a 12-month deployment there. My boys, we have 2 boys at the time, they were 8 and 3. And when I close my eyes, I can still put myself right back there, alone in a hotel room in Indonesia, missing a year of memories with my family. Now I fast forward that 3 years, and I'm in Afghanistan for the 4th time. And when I close my eyes, I can put myself right back there in the mountains of Afghanistan, all the same smells, all the same sounds, just like it was yesterday. And at that time, I wasn't sure if I would ever see my family again, let alone talk to them again. And the reality is that I had friends that never saw their families again. And Garrett and Riley, our 2 boys, they were 11 and 6 at the time. And have you ever had that moment in your life where you've had enough? Well, I'd had it right then. I'd had enough. And that moment that moment of visceral disgust is so powerful, because that's the moment we realize that we are the ones in charge of our life, no one else. We make the decisions for our life. So if you were to close your eyes right now and imagine yourself 5 years from now, changing nothing in your current situation, what does your life look like? How does it feel? Just take a second, changing nothing. Fast forward 5 years. How are you feeling? Who are you? Where are you? And is it where you want to be? Because by 2017, like I said, I'd had enough. I decided to retire in 2017 because I wanted to drive my boys to school, make their lunches, help them with their homework. And they were 14 and 9. And I started my own business because I wanted time freedom. But after 2.5 years of running my own business, I found out that all I did was create a job. And if anyone has a small business, as Sarah asked, you know that running a small business is like having a job. You work. For me, every hour I worked, I got paid. If I didn't work, I didn't get paid. And I was at a point in my life when I realized this, that I was completely lost. I wasn't sure what to do. Here I was, the provider for my family, not enjoying what I was doing, feeling helpless because I felt like there was nothing I could do to change it. And I actually thought to myself one morning, maybe I was just destined to work 8 to 6 the rest of my life and missed all these moments with my children that I've been missing for 14 years. My son was 14, critical time in his development. And that is when our beautiful, dear friend Kamaile offered this gift to us. And when I saw that ABC primetime video, and if you haven't seen it, you have to see it, because I saw that video and I thought, how in the heck have I never seen this before? It's unreal. LifeVantage has been publicly traded on the NASDAQ for over 10 years. Our product, Pro Tandem, it was in GNC stores around the country before that. It's like, why haven't I never seen this? And I can talk about all the numbers and all the facts, and Sarah talked about some of those highlights, and I'm going to reiterate some of those for you. If you decide to do this as an opportunity, you're joining a very strong team that cares about your success. You would not be doing this alone. And our impact is global. It's just not your community. Our company is in 21 countries, and we add more every year. We cooperate, we don't compete. Our compensation plan is so unique because of the behaviors it encourages. It's really unbelievable. Our product, Pro Tandem, it has no competition. Companies have tried to replicate our product for the last 10 years and they can't. And we have 7 patents and more on the way. We have 26 peer-reviewed medical studies. We talked about that earlier tonight. And every year, this number grows in PubMed.gov. And having those peer-reviewed studies is huge in this medical health and wellness industry. I encourage you after tonight to really get into the research. Go to PubMed.gov, do your research. I know I did. I was skeptical until I found all this information out. But I want you to close with this final thought before I send it back over to Kamaile, is that This may not be the right time for you and your family, and that's okay. But it may be the right time for someone you love. We would love you to join our movement and help us change lives of all of those around us and in our community. So thanks for taking the time tonight. Thanks for watching the call if you're watching the recording. And thanks for just being open to receiving this gift. Kamaile, thank you for asking me to share. I'm going to go make dinner.
Yes.
It was an honor. Aloha. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jamie. And coming from your background, considering, that you teach, men and women, transitioning out of the military about, certain businesses, and hello, is this, it's definitely not a walk in the park, owning your own business, period. And this isn't either, but is it much more fun, at least? Wouldn't you say? You get to work with me every day and your wife, and you get to be the teacher of your son. So yeah, I know. But I really appreciate everybody. Kristen Algren was going to share just a quick little second, because she truly is, and she's going to take 2 minutes, of your time, but she truly is an inspiration to all of us, because she is somebody who has really shown us on paper what this can do for us when we actually open our mouths and just share our story. That's all we're doing, So Kristen Algren,
Aw,
she's
thank
somebody
you.
that, yeah, somebody
You
that
guys,
I've grown up with. So
I
thank you.
don't usually get emotional, but I actually feel like I'm gonna cry because I am just so grateful for all of you for being here and this team that we've created and for being here supporting Kamaile. I had a girl crush on her in high school. She was just like this funky, crazy, amazing, positive girl. And I'm just so grateful to be working, on the daily with you and Jamie and Sarah and, the other teammates here. But I just texted her. I said, you know what, do you want me to share the income disclosure statement, which, sometimes we share, sometimes we don't. But you guys, I never in a million years thought that I would ever do this. And it has been one of the best things I've ever done. I mean, so many people's lives have changed, including mine. I wasn't looking for this. I did not need to do this, but it's just radically changed my life and so many others. And the products are mind blowing and have changed so many people's health. But there's a whole nother side of it, the finances. So I'm just going to share our income disclosure statement right now. And it's really, what the distributors are making, and it's radically changed so many people's lives. So we have different promotions in our company. Like Jamie said, we're publicly traded. So everything is transparent here. So on the left side here, we have our 1 through 10. It's basically different promotions in our company. If you look over at this third row, this is what the average is we're making residually monthly. So the the Pro 3 is making over $600, which can definitely help some people and families. The Pro 5 which is what Kamaile's at, is just over 3,000 monthly. I hit Elite Pro 7 in May, and that is just over 13,000 monthly. One of the people that brought this to my attention 3.5 years ago, aside from my sister, was Daisy Shane Goodwin. She just hit Pro 9 a couple of months ago, and the average monthly income is $50,000. So it's big stuff, especially with what's going on in the world today. So I feel like that's an important piece to share. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm just so grateful to be here. And I love you, Kamaile, and all of you who are on here. So
Yay.
have a good night.
Mahalo, mahalo, everyone. We will leave it there. If anybody has any questions, I'm definitely backlit. How do you guys like my background? Woo! We could go on for days. The testimonies last for days. I thank you so much for joining me and really supporting me. And again, the information is all about timing. It's all about the timing in our own lives of what we're really sick and tired of being sick and tired about, and what we're really willing to do in order to get out of the situations that we've been in. I want to say this specifically for my cousin, that we have over 2,000 doctors and medical professionals on in our board. So we welcome you with our open arms, and I'm so proud of you. I know. But that is the type of organization that I want to associate with. And that is why I keep coming back. I keep sharing the word. And, you know, even though people may think I'm crazy and what you doing, okay, and this real quick is my depiction of this whole network marketing thing. It goes like this. The Brada delivers 55-gallon bottles of water, okay? And I'm standing there at my house, and I gotta actually move the water from my house up the hill. And then my girlfriends are standing on the side. I'm like, hey, try help me out. You know, I'll go buy lunch, you know, after we pow. So then they start helping me out, and they're like, oh, this is hard work. Like, we want to go beach already, you know? And so then they call their friends, and then they're like, hey, Kamaile's buying lunch at the end of the day, you know, and then we can all go beach and have lunch. And so when everybody takes a little bit of the carrying the water up the hill, it's much more enjoyable. We're having lunch along the way, and we're smiling and we're laughing. And that's truly all the hype that it is. It is such a huge and important way to do it. But when you are truly at the core of what you're doing, changing lives, because you're presenting to them a buffet of things that are all natural, that are assimilating their bodies into health and like transformative health, that is what motivates me to carry that water up the hill. So I just want to say thank you so much. I love you so much. Kelly, I wish we could have heard from you. Definitely next time. Your story is amazing, but I love you. Aloha. Love you.